quilters, welcome back to my channel, Pages and Stitches. My name is Kelly and I am thrilled to have you here with me today. Today is Sunday, March 27th. Sunday, March 27th, 2022. It's about, I don't know, like 6:30 p.m. And I just wanted to give you guys a quick update on what I have been quilting and what I've been working on throughout the month of March so that you can see what I'm up to. So first, let me start by saying thank you to all of my new subscribers. Thank you for coming back. I know most people come to the channel to watch my floss tube, my cross stitching videos, but there's definitely a handful of you who are interested at least in quilting. So that was my first love, and so I'm glad to share that passion with you. So welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time watching a Quilter's Corner video, welcome. This is where I talk about all of my quilting projects. I film it in my sewing room. I've got my design wall behind me, and I just love to talk about what I'm working on and hopefully give you guys some ideas and get some feedback from you on what you think and what you like. Okay, so what I want to go over with you today is, let's see, I've got whip updates. I've got a fully finished object, technically two, and I've got some haul that I want to show you as well. So before I get into all of that, let me just say that this past month was really stressful for a lot of different reasons. There was just a lot going on, both work-wise that just left me exhausted, and then I had an injury. I threw my back out just sleeping, I think. I just woke up and my back hurt. So I wasn't really motivated to do anything that my back still kind of hurts. And then we had some really bad weather in Texas this past week. We had some tornadoes in the area. I'm fine. Thank you if you were worried. My family's fine. But we did have some funnel clouds right above me. So Monday night I spent a little while hiding under my stairs with my pets. Fortunately though, at least in my area, everything seemed to dissipate before actually touching down. So we got away with just like a bunch of really heavy rain. But there were other areas in Texas that were not so lucky. And so my heart goes out to those families and to those communities. Unfortunately, Texas is part of Tornado Alley, so we do have to worry about that sometimes. We managed to escape blizzards and snowstorms. We're mostly flat state. We're kind of hilly, but still we don't have like rock slides or landslides or anything like that. And we're not on a fault line, so we don't have earthquakes. But we do have tornadoes, and of course, because we are on the coast, we also have hurricanes. So that was something we had to deal with last week. And so all that to say, I just spent a lot of time really unmotivated to be creative this past month. So unfortunately, I didn't get as much work on my whips and all my projects as I would have liked to. But I still did make some, and I want to share that with you. So before I show you what I've been working on, I want to give you my reading update. Since I spent so much time just like resting and recovering, well, I did do a lot of reading, like a lot of reading. So let me show you all the books I've read in this past month. Okay, so first I finished my, my previous read, which was House of Sky and Breath by Sarah J. Maas. I've finished that. And then I followed that up with Hex Life, which is a collection of short stories about witches and witchcraft, and they're kind of spooky, and so that was fun. There's 18 authors that contributed to this book, so I'm not going to give you all their names, but I will link it down below. Okay, so then I read Somewhere I'll Find You by Kleypas. Then I read Highland Wolf by Lynsay Sands. And then It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover. After that, I read The Bridge Kingdom by Danielle, Jensen. And then after I finished that one, I read the sequel, which was The Traitor Queen, also by Danielle Jensen. There is a third book that she's written. I believe it's like universe adjacent. Like, I don't know that it's a continuation of the same story, but that one comes out in May and I'm excited to read it. And then lastly, I have started The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab. So this is my current read. So, I mean, that's 7 books. So I did a lot of reading. When I was feeling unmotivated to be creative, I did a lot of reading. So yeah, that's my reading update. Okay, so next I want to show you my FFOs. So, you will have seen previously on my design wall my Shimmer Quilt by Cluck. So I will insert the pattern picture here. And I finished it with the fabric line Lilac and Sage by RJR Fabrics. And here's the finished product. So the line Lilac and Sage has 19 prints in it, and the pattern called for 20. So I supplemented with an additional print also from RJR Fabrics called the Jenny Bauer palette, and it is in the colorway Jade, maybe? I'm not actually sure what the name of the colorway is. I'll figure it out and I'll insert that. But that was quilted professionally. By the time I actually finished the quilt top, it had been sitting on my design wall for the better part of a year, and I was frankly sick of looking at it. I had stopped previously several times to work on other projects. Like a lot of my friends are fertile, so they had babies, so I made a lot of baby quilts, and I just kept struggling to come back to it because I just kept thinking like, oh, I'm still not done with this. But I did finally manage to finish it, and I sent it to my local quilt shop, Lone Star Quilt Works, and they have a service that will do professional quilting for you, which was fine by me because, like I said, I was ready to wash my hands of it. But so it was quilted by Megan over at Lone Star Quilt Works. She used a purple variegated thread and a beautiful floral pattern, and she quilted this beauty for me, and I'm super happy with how it turned out. It's really pretty. I'm glad it's done. It was a labor of love. The really pretty thing about this fabric line is it has these gorgeous like rose gold metallic bits on it that are just stunning, and then when they catch the light just right, it's I drool. It's so pretty. So I don't remember the finished dimensions. I think it was 70 by 60 approximately. I will insert the finished dimensions of what it's supposed to be. So it's basically just, you know, a lap quilt or a twin size quilt. And now this beauty is finished. It lives on my giant stack of finished quilts that I just get to admire because, I mean, I can't use them all at once. I guess I could, but that would be very hot and I live in Texas. So that was added to my finished pile, and I'm very pleased that I got that one all done. And I, of course, will link Lone Star Quilt Works down below if you want to investigate the quilting service. Okay, so it occurred to me when I was doing my finishes tour that I never actually showed you one of my favorite finishes that I get the most comments on and the most compliments on almost every day. And that's my work bag. So I carry a tote bag with me to and from work, and sometimes I struggle finding one that's cute enough. So I just made one, and that is this bag right here. this is my work bag that I made myself. I'm super proud of it. So the pattern for this bag I actually got from a YouTube video. There's a person I follow on YouTube, and I don't know her name. I know she lives in an Asian country, and I couldn't tell you with confidence which one it was because all of her videos are in a different language. She doesn't actually talk, everything's written out, but it's all written in a different language. The only thing I understand is the numbers, because obviously that's, I mean, I can read it too and know what that means. So I do know that everything that she does is in centimeters. Like, she uses the metric system because most of the world does. So what I ultimately had to do was I watched that video over and over and over again, and I figured out which pieces measured what. I converted those to inches, and then I made it. I get compliments on this bag all the time. It's got a magnetic closure, and it's got little pockets. It's deep. I have a zipper pouch here on this side, and I have an open pouch here on this side. And this one, this fabric is a Barkcloth, I believe it's called, by Charlie Hoover, I think is his name. And of course it's got skulls on it, but the cute thing is, like, the skulls have like little birdies that have nested inside it, and I just think that's super cute. And then this fabric is just kind of a generic gold, and it is like a glittery metallic gold inside that I got from Joann's. So I will link the video that I'm referencing down below. But like I said, it is in another language, so it does require a little bit of effort to kind of figure it out. And then the other thing is, so the dimensions that she gives make a bag that's much smaller than this, and I needed a big tote. So I converted it to inches and then sized it up because I needed a bigger bag with a longer strap to fit all my work junk in it. And it does, so I carry this big old folio that has like my planner and all my notes and like important work in it, or important documents in it, and it fits this big guy like with ease, with extra space. So the dimensions for this bag I've written down. So it is at the top, and it is tapered. So at the top, from side to side, it's 18 inches. At the bottom, it's 16 inches from here to here. And then, let me get it, there we go. The base measures 3 inches, and then the height is 12. So it's pretty good. It's pretty sizable. And like I said, I get compliments on this thing everywhere I go. They love this bag. And then whenever I tell people like, oh, I made it, it just jaws drop. It's great. So what I did was, so I have the quilting fabric on the inside and then the Barkcloth on the outside. The inside fabric I lined with fusible interfacing to kind of stiffen it up. And then the outside fabric, I added fusible foam so that it has structure to it. So that way, you know, when I set it down, it can sit up and it's a little bit sturdier. And I just love that bag so much. So, and that thing is probably like, I don't know, maybe like 9 months old. So it's lasted the better part of a year, and it's not wearing down anytime soon as far as I'm aware. So this is my bag. This is my work bag. I love it so much. And I just wanted to share that with y'all because I'm so proud of it, and I can't even believe that I didn't share that with my finishes because, like I said, I get so many compliments on it. Whips, let me share with you my whips. So you will notice that I have a different quilt on my design wall from last time. Last time you would have seen my quilt pattern Cinnamon Toast that I used with Anna Maria Horner's line Made My Day, yes. So I have finished the quilt top. I've pieced it all together, but I haven't finished the quilt itself, just the quilt top. So I'll insert a picture of what the finished quilt top looks like all together. It's bright, it's beautiful, I love it so much. So now I just have to get it sandwiched together, get it basted, and get it quilted. And I think I said last time that I'm pretty sure I'm gonna quilt it myself, but I'm kind of getting spoiled by the quilting service at Lone Star Quilt Works. So, okay. The entire process of quilting, from buying your fabric to laying it all out and piecing the quilt top together, and then finally basting it and quilting it, like actually stitching it together. That part, the quilting part, is my least favorite part of the process. I don't know why. I know there's plenty of people out there that are like shocked because that's easily their favorite part. I don't know. I can't stand wrestling with the quilt through my machine, even though I have a machine with a very big throat that is made to fit big quilts through. I have a Jazz by Baby Lock, which it's known for its like wide throat. The throat being the opening where you stitch. Anyways, I don't know. I don't know why. I think part of the reason is because I don't do free motion quilting. Like, I'm just not good at it. So most of my quilting is very basic. And so I guess it bores me, or it irritates me, or both. So it's my least favorite part. I do it, obviously I do it, but if I can pay somebody else to do it, that's even better. So I'm considering taking this one to Lone Star to have Megan quilt it there, because I just want to. So currently she lives in my closet. She's all folded up. So this print right here is the backing. This is the backing fabric. Oops. And it is featured in the actual quilt top as well. You can see it right there. So she kind of got all chopped up to be featured in the quilt top itself. But once I get it all, for now it just lives on the hanger, but once I get it sorted out what I'm gonna do with it, I will get that done so I can have another FFO, another fully finished object. I don't know, I might change my mind. I might quilt it myself, because since everything's done in diagonals, like doing a straight stitch on it is pretty simple and pretty easy. The only thing I know right now is I definitely want to quilt it using hot pink thread. I mean, that makes too much sense, right? So she is off to the side. She's in my closet until I'm ready to take her out for quilting. Okay, so my next FFO, you will see behind me. This is the Stay Gold Panel Quilt by Ruby Star Society. And I will insert a picture, because I don't have the pattern with me in front of me. I'll insert a picture of what the finished pattern is supposed to look like. I have everything cut out except for the sashing, which is the white and blue cornerstones that go between all the blocks. And so I didn't necessarily follow the pattern in terms of which color combinations to use with which block. First of all, the panel that comes in the panel quilt has like 40 different squares to choose from, and you need 25. So I don't think I even chose the same squares. I wasn't even paying attention. I just picked which ones I liked. And then whenever it came to pairing up the fabrics to go where, I was just going, I was letting my heart decide. I was just going by feel, because I knew I wanted a good mix of colors and a good mix of patterns, and there's 2 or 3 fat quarters in the fat quarter bundle that you don't actually use for the design. And so I picked the loudest, prettiest ones, and I mixed it up, and I really enjoyed that whole process, because it was just like collaging, basically. I've created an inspiration wall, because all I did was just, like I said, go by which pairs I thought kind of looked cute together, and were far enough apart that they weren't going to touch like patterns. And yeah, so you can kind of see right here and here, I've assembled the first 2 blocks. So I'll insert a picture of those. And oh my God, I just love the way they're turning out. This has been so fun so far, and I haven't really even done that much. And the other thing I wanted to show you is, so obviously, I mean, you can see here, like there's a lot of half square triangles that you have to cut. Half square triangles meaning there's a seam that goes up the middle of a square and it's got a triangle on one side and a triangle on the other. So if you're not familiar with that term, that's what a half square triangle is. And the saving grace to cutting those out, which is a pain in the butt, is this ruler right here. So this is the slotted trimmer by New Leaf Stitches. And it comes in 2 sizes. I don't have the other size with me right now, but this is the one where you can get the 1/2 inches. And this is trimmer A. Trimmer B has like full inch measurements. So this has 1.5, 2.5, 3.5. Trimmer B has 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 inch trimmers. So the way this works is, and I'll insert pictures as I'm describing it. When you take your 2 squares and you sew them together, two seams on either side of the middle line, you then cut it on that middle line, and then you have your 2 triangles, right? But rather than opening them up and ironing them and then trimming it down to size afterwards, you use this guy and you put the triangle on top. You see there's kind of like a dotted darker part. That's where your seam allowance goes. So this dashed line will go on the seam. So for this pattern, I need a 4.5 inch finished half square triangle, which is this line right here. This dotted line is gonna go on the seam, and then this line, or this bit right here, is where the seam allowance is. And then you trim the excess here, and you'll see it's got these slots in the sides. So that's where you can stick your rotary tool in to trim off the dog ears before you ever even open up your triangle, your half square triangle. So this is awesome. And I will definitely link this down below if you're interested in it. And so I have the 2 smaller ones. I believe there are 2 larger ones where the half square triangle that it cuts goes up to like 10.5 inches. So obviously it's a bigger ruler. But for the most part, my half square triangles that I use are smaller. And the biggest that this one cuts is 6.5 inches. So this was my saving grace for every half square triangle project I've ever used or I've ever made. If you're considering doing this quilt, or if you just happen to have a lot of half square triangle patterns where you need to cut those and trim those down and they're just as annoying for you as they are for me, you might consider purchasing that ruler, because it's been spectacular to use. It's been spectacular to have in my arsenal, because it's just kind of saved me so much time. So the last thing I want to go over with you is a little bit of haul. So the first bit of haul that I wanted to show you is this quilt kit does not come with a backing, because I don't think the Stay Gold line actually has any 108 prints. The finished size of this quilt is 92 by 92, so it's a king size quilt. So the only piece of fabric that's big enough is gonna be a 108 print, which, like I said, I don't think they make, or at least this quilt shop doesn't have. Or you're gonna have to piece a quilt back together. So that's what I'm gonna do. I bought 3 different fabrics from this line, and I'm just gonna piece them together. So I'm just gonna have 3 different fabrics side by side for the back. And the 3 fabrics that I got are this yellow rose with the metallic on it. This is one of my favorite ones. I love this print. You see how that shine moves with the light? Oh my God, I love it so much. And then I also have, oh, that's what this one is. And then I also have this, I think they're moths, or they might be moths and butterflies, but it's this little moth butterfly pink print. And I was shaking it, and I just realized there's no metallic on it. So sorry. I got that one, and that print is right here. And then lastly, I have this blue, I don't know what this, I don't know if these are cherries. I don't know if they're meant to be a flower. They're just like a pink polka dot flower with a blue background. And this one does have metallic, as you can see. And I think this metallic, it's small, so I can't tell if it's gold or if it's rose gold, but it is shiny. So those are the three prints I got. I'm not quite sure how I want to orient them, like what order I want them in. If you have an opinion about it, let me know. But I got those 3 prints because I liked the different variation of color. And so I'm gonna do those for my backing for this quilt whenever I do finally get around to finishing it. I mean, it won't take long once I actually sit down and do it because these came together like super fast. I actually made this one like right before I started filming, and it took me, you know, 15 minutes. So next, I added to my collection of Deco Bob pre-wound bobbins. If you're like me, you can't stand running out of bobbin thread and then having to stop what you're doing just to rewind your bobbin. For whatever reason, as much money as was spent on my sewing machine, the bobbins themselves just don't hold that much thread. I don't know why. It's like whenever you push the bobbin over and you let it wind, it's like the little thing that presses up against it is really far in, so you can't get that much thread on your bobbin, and it annoys the crap out of me. So I bought some more Deco Bob pre-wound bobbins. These are just in white. I have them in black, and then I also have them in like a light cream color, which is what I have been using so far. And I actually just finished my first cream colored bobbin, and I got all the way through my cinnamon toast quilt and all the way through my binding, putting my binding on my shimmer quilt before it ran out. And I think I've done, oh, of course, I've done those 2 blocks as well. And I think I've done one of my Meadowland blocks. So, I mean, I've gotten a fair amount of stitching out of that one bobbin before having to change it. So these are definitely a nice investment. So the last thing I wanted to show you is I bought a handful of fat quarters. Just, you know, usually whenever I'm adding to my fabric stash, I'm buying fat quarters. At least if I don't have a purpose and like I don't have a pattern in mind that I'm getting a set amount of fabric for, I just buy fat quarters because most of the time that's all I need. These first 2 fat quarters come from a line called, let me check my notes here, called Gilded Rose. So here is the first one, and this is tossed rosebuds in black. And as you can see, it has a metallic shimmer to it, which is stunning. Very elegant. Put that there. And then I have this one, which is called Packed Roses. As you can see, there's a bunch of roses. And this line I think came in like as part of their Valentine's Day, February kind of fabric stash that they were selling at Lone Star. And I just thought it was too pretty. And the other thing is like of my fabric, my personal fabric stash, I just don't have a lot of reds. Like it's not a color I reach for very often. So I definitely wanted to bring this guy home. So anyways, that line was called Gilded Rose. Gilded Rose from Lone Star Quilt Works. This next one is from a line called Wildflowers. And it's just this pretty dark print that has all sorts of these beautiful, cute wildflowers on it and sort of whimsical looking collage of pretty colors and florals. And who isn't able to use a floral, you know what I mean? So I added that one to my stash. So Ruby Star Society has a line of fabrics called their Darlings, and it's just a random line of kind of like their most popular prints. And they just released a next line called Darlings 2. So it's another collection of like very popular prints that they have. And I invested in this one, which is, it's just called Mushrooms. It's got no metallic on it, but this hot pink color Ruby Star Society uses a lot. So that's what makes their fabric so versatile, is Ruby Star Society is able to kind of blend different designers' fabrics and different lines of fabric, even from the same designer, because they feature a lot of similar colors. So it's like, there's a lot of beautiful neons. All the prints are really eclectic. And then they also have a lot of like darker, I mean, this is Ruby Star Society, so you can see sort of what I'm talking about. There's neons everywhere, lots of metallics, really fun prints that you can mix and match. So that's why I'm kind of a Ruby Star diehard. So I added their mushroom print to my stash. This next one's also a Ruby Star Society print, and it is called Starry Starry Night in neon pink. Starry Starry Night, yeah. And it's just a cream, there's no metallic on it, but it's just a cream. And this comes in several different colorways, but I really liked the hot pink. I don't know what it is about this color. Like, I don't wear hot pink. I don't own a lot of things that are hot pink, but when it comes to Ruby Star Society, like, everything's pink, and I just love it. I don't know why. So when they released this line of different Starry Starry Night prints, I went for the hot pink one. I don't know why that is, that I like pink fabric so much. And like hot pink at that. I don't know what it is. Because I'm a redhead, I can't wear pink. I think I own like 2 pink shirts, and they probably don't look as good on me as I think they do. Okay, so this last acquisition is just really darling. It is a fabric line called Self Love Club. March is Women's History Month. I don't know if that had anything necessarily to do with the design and the release of this fabric line, but it felt appropriate to purchase it during Women's History Month. Because, and I hope you don't feel scandalized by this, but it shows boobs and booties. Boobs and booties. And the reason why I think it's so stinking cute, so like I said, I work in radiography. Part of radiology, all-encompassing radiology, is mammography. It uses, obviously, radiation to detect breast cancer. And the reason why that is near and dear to my heart is because my sister just beat her battle with breast cancer. Thank goodness. And then also this line here, you can see, shows mastectomy breasts. A mastectomy being, you know, the breast was removed because of various reasons, likely because it was cancerous. And a lot of women who have mastectomies, like for example, this one had a bilateral mastectomy, and then this woman who had a unilateral mastectomy, have these scars left behind. And a lot of women struggle with their image of beauty and then self-love, like this line is called, after such a procedure. And so I just kind of adore this for its inclusiveness, because it does show that. And then it's got these little lines on the fabric. This one says beauty comes in all sizes and shapes, which is very true. So that's the breast print. And then this one with the booties says, girl, you already have what it takes. And I just think that's really precious. And it's just, I mean, you can't show me a woman who doesn't struggle with her own self-image and like loving the way she looks. And so that's actually kind of a powerful subject for a line of fabric. So I wanted to support it. I think it's very cute. This print is called Flaunt It. And this one is called Blushing. And then I got two matching fabrics that go with it. So this is Beauty Spots in white. It's just a cute little leopard print. And then I got Beauty Spots in pink as well that match. I'm not really sure what I'm gonna do with this fabric. Like I might make something for my sister. Let me know what you think. I mean, if you have an idea for what to do with that fabric, let me know. It's, again, the line is called Self Love Club, and it is still on sale at Lone Star Quilt Works. That's everything I have for you today. That's all of my quilting projects updated. Plans for the next month. I'm gonna obviously keep trucking away at this guy. And I think I wanna do some more of my my favorite sweater quilt and Meadowland, because those two have been sorely neglected. So I need to get at least a few more blocks done on those two quilts, just to say that I have still worked on it. But this guy is definitely front and center. And then I also need to figure out how to quilt, or if I even want to do the quilting for Cinnamon Toast, or if I want somebody else to do it. So I will get to work on that. And then, I mean, hopefully I'll have it fully finished by my next update. If not, it'll make another appearance. I'll definitely show you once that's done. Other than that, that's everything. I'm just making sure I didn't miss anything, which I don't think I did. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments down below. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you're working on. And that's everything. So I hope you enjoyed your weekend. I hope you get to do a lot of fun projects. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.